Hello fellow artists and art lovers. I'm Matt from Matt JL Art and More. Today I'm going to be sculpting a character in Blender. The character I'll be creating is my original character, Jack Elm, also known as Animator from my original story, The Mysterious Oddballs. Before we begin, I do want to clarify, this video is not meant to be a tutorial. I guess it might be interesting to record my character creation process. With that out of the way, onto the video. Start by subdividing the default cube into a rounder shape, then begin to sculpt it into a head-like form. Next comes the nose, blobbing on mass and moving it around till it looks like a nose. Then carved out eye sockets and a mouth, followed closely by sculpting the ear, which for some reason was the hardest part of the head. With the head done, it was time for the hands. I shaped a cube to the right size and then cut up into segments to extrude fingers from. For the body, I used a cube divided into segments, then pulled out legs and arms, which I connected to the hands. I was created feet and a neck by extruding some faces. Now that the rough body was complete, I headed over to the sculpting mode and used the inflate brush over the whole body to make the geometry roughly equal. And then it was time to shape everything into the proper shape. I built up details like the chest and hands, and even gave him some toes. After giving him some modesty color, it was time for a retopology. I started by going around the eyes, bringing them across the nose, going around the nostrils and connecting it to the rest of the mesh. I also went around the ears, went around the mouth, and built out a shape. With that out of the way, I began forming the rest of the face, creating the cheeks and chin. I then went around the neck and built out a new neck, and then continued to add shapes until I had a full head. Okay, time for the body, starting out by encircling the shoulders, creating the back and the chest. I then extruded down to create the rest of the torso and pulled out some arms. The fingers were created using cylinders shaped to the proper size and knitting them together, continuing them down the hands until they were finished. After that, I knit them to the arms. I used some more cylinders to go down the legs and feet, and then extruded some toes. Once everything was connected together, it was time for the upper body parts. I used the topology of my newly created head to create the hair and eyebrows, as well as the teeth and tongue. After unwrapping it, it was texture time, starting off with base skin tone and painting on touches of red in certain areas to get it to look just right. I used a bump map on details such as nipples, belly button, feet, and on the hands. Okay, clothing time. For the socks, I used the retopology of the feet, displaced it a bit from the body, and extruded it out. I got rid of the toes and created a new topology to cover his toes up. The underwear was created using the same process, displaced topology with extruded thickness. I then unwrapped them as well. I also textured them. So here's the final base body. I do want to clarify that all these texture patterns, like the fabric, were created ahead of time to speed up the process, using tutorials from other YouTube channels. I'll link these in the description. Now for the first outfit. I used the same process for this as well, displacing the mesh until it covered the socks and underwear. After this, I cut out a pair of pants. I unwrapped them and added some thickness. Then I slapped on some textures I made earlier, and then created the belt using the pants topology, outfitted with, of course, a buckle and loops. I then used bump maps to create the details on the pants. The t-shirt was made in the same way as the pants, using the retopologized base body to my advantage to create the t-shirt for Jack to wear. I unwrapped it and gave it a base color red. Jack also wears a hoodie, so I used the same tricks as the other items to create it. The shirt logo was repainted later, so I left that part out. After some trial and error, I found the best way to create the hoodie was with the hood up, using the head topology to create the hood. I then reworked the topology to make it work better for that model. I then repainted the logo on Jack's shirt. The logo is for a fictional comic book character in this world called Laser Lad. I then unwrapped the hoodie and made it green. I used cylinders for the hoodie strings. At this point, I used shape keys to create a hood down mode and moved the mesh until I had a lying down hood. Unfortunately, there was no way to get it to go down and up without going through the head, so I ended up making them separate items. Jack's shoes were made by extruding a plant around his feet and touching it up until I had a shoe. The laces are cylinders extruded and merged together into a permanently tied state. I then unwrapped and textured the shoes. This character's glasses were made by extruding a cube until it ends up in the right shape. And now it is time to rig them using the default human armature. Here's the final outfit. Of course, Jack is not just a regular civilian, but also a superhero called Animator, so he needs his costume. I made the pants and shirt the same way as the civilian versions, and then started on the boots by extruding from the sneakers. The gloves and mask are also made by using the base body geometry. The belt was made using the same method, and I made a buckle out of a cylinder. I then added some base colors for all the clothing pieces and texture paint, and added it to the armature. You can see here I added a holster and pads for his elbows, knees, and shoulders using the body topology and some cylinders. I also molded him a weapon, which is a device resembling a pencil called the Curator. I painted details on the suit such as the logo, colors for the boot and glove cuffs, the belt, holster, and the pads. I then gave him some eyes and other mask details. The shoulder pads also have logos from the mysterious oddball superhero team. The colors blocked out, I then used a hexagon pattern I prepared early to give the suit the right look, as well as some treads for his boots. I also gave him a cape, which you can see me rigging now. Here's the final super suit. You can see I gave him a mask down look as well, using the same method as the hoodie. With both outfits done, I used shape keys and drivers for his facial movements, expressions, and talking ability. I then texture baked all the material so I could save the computer some computing power, and it would allow me also to use them in other programs. And then I added all the pieces to my Blender archive for future use. That way, Jack and his various accessories can serve as a base for future projects. And there we go. Jack Helm, also known as the Animator, is complete. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun making this character. I have some videos planned. Hopefully it won't take as long coming out as this one did, but I can promise nothing. Anyway, like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you all later. Bye!